What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I'm on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Yeah, got to take care of some people. Not like take care of some people, but take care of some people. So we're going to be going down to the Red Brick House. Don't know how long I'm going to be down there. Fortunately, I've got my whole studio right there in the bag, so I can broadcast and do what I got to do from anywhere. So that's the good news and stuff. And fortunately, we're in a position to be able to help some people out when they need to be helped. And that's my thing in life is, take care of you and look out for others as well. And that's the way I try and live my life. And I hope if I'm in a position where I need some help, that people look out for my ass. Anyway, we have some news. Apparently, after being tagged last year and it getting really, really ugly with Saquon, as well as Josh Jacobs and other running backs, the NFL has devalued running backs completely. But if there's anything that you learn from the playoffs is you may not want to pay a running back to be your running back, but you need those running backs. They are very, very important to the success of your team and your offense, because in short yardage you need a guy that can pound the rock. When it comes to keeping balance so they're not teeing off on your quarterback, you need a running game. Late in the game when you need a lead and you don't want to risk the biscuit, you need a running back. And that's one of the problems the Cowboys have had, diminishing returns for several years now as far as running backs go and the running game. It's still key. You saw in the fourth quarter, Kansas City, it was rough sledding for both teams. Those two teams were super heavyweight fighters going toe for toe against each other and things. But you saw some key runs there by Pacheco late in the game. And you can see San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey had a tough game, but when he was finally churning and making some yards, that offense started to go. Without him being able to go, you saw them being able to kind of do some things to Brock Purdy and shut down those guys. Kittle, 2 receptions, only 4 yards. 4 yards! Yeah, F Kittle. Yeah, I'm going to get me a shirt. F Kittle. There we go. Punk ass. But it's going to be interesting to see if teams will value the running backs more. Now, we're hearing that the New York Giants are not going to tag Saquon a second time. Now, here's the thing. When you tag somebody, you tag them the first year, you pay that much. The second year, I believe it's like a 30% increase. So it would be like $14 million or something like that. They're hopeful that they could get a deal with him, but they're not going to tag him. The franchise tag for a first-time being tagged player for this year went from like 10.1 to like 12.6. An increase, great, but not as big an increase as, say, for quarterbacks and some of the other positions out there, wide receivers and edge rushers. Running back still gets no love. So now the question is, you've got Saquon that's going to be out there. We hear Josh Jacobs. The Raiders are interested in bringing him back at the right price. And then there is, of course, Henry, who's out there as well. So you have 3 big name running backs potentially that could be on the market. Now, you paid $16 million a year for Zeke Elliott. You paid $10.1. Oh, actually, let me put out there. Tony Pollard is a free agent as well. And Tony Pollard said, he's just kind of catching his breath from the season right now. And, soon he'll be getting with his agent and start talking about things and see, letting the dust clear and seeing where he goes. If that's back to Dallas or what. But Dallas has a propensity of running a running back in the ground and saying, thanks, have a nice nice life. So I don't see them per se, after $10.1 million this year on the franchise tag, bringing Tony Pollard back, unless Tony Pollard says, I'll come in for about $4 million a year. That would be about the only way I see Tony Pollard coming back. I could be wrong. Again, the Cowboys always say we believe in our guys, even though our guys get tired, need to grow up, and haven't gotten past the divisional round. But we believe in them. We believe in them. So my question here is, if you can get Derrick Henry for what you paid for Tony Pollard or less, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you get Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs? Now, Saquon is a hell of a back. He is, one of the best there is, but he's like Tyron Smith. When he plays, he's a beast. When he's injured, which is quite often, you're screwed. And the problem of putting all your eggs in the Saquon basket is, if he does go down, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That is the problem of putting all your resources towards that number one back, is you got to be sure that that's a guy that can take some wear and tear. And that's the reason I would say, yeah, Saquon is an incredible talent that could really help you. But that guy, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold up. So I would look more, and I know Derrick Henry has had some injuries as well. You have to worry about any running back because of the position. But I look at the body, the build, and everything else with Derrick Henry and say, I think he would be better suited to be my between the tackles guy. And maybe if you can get him at the right price, you do look at bringing back a Tony Pollard. Maybe Tony Pollard, if he goes back to being just a third down back, where he's not having to take on the big guys in the middle, then maybe he can get back to being more dynamic. But $10 million or the franchise tag for him, which would be about $14 million, that ain't going to happen. So we'll see what happens with Saquon. If Saquon is gone from New York and Daniel Jones coming back from an ACL, which probably won't be to start the season, Giants are at a point of just rebuilding. They're starting all over because they don't have a lot of horses in the fight right now. So as we look at it right now, I will say, and maybe I'm crazy, that it's still in the NFC East a two-horse race. I think the Eagles are going to be taking some steps back. If they end up letting Hassan Reddick go, they're going to be starting all over on this defense. Their secondary is ass. They got no linebackers. At least I can look and say we do have a generational talent outside. We got a good run stopper on the other side with D-Law. We've got good cornerbacks. If we get Diggs back, we've got some things that we can work on. If the Cowboys, in fact, do what they say and go all in and get me a linebacker, get me another defensive lineman, and get some attitude, I look at the Cowboys and the Eagles and say it's the two of us for the division. But then again, it's football. And you could be the Texans in the basement one year and win your division the next. All right, good people. Peace.